Hey everyone, Iris here. I am coming to you today from Vermont. This is just a vlog update on life and things. I got home from my contract a couple weeks ago. I spent this contract in, you can guess from the mug, maybe, in Holland. And I actually was in Holland. The Netherlands is the country. Holland is just part of it. I was in South Holland in Rotterdam, and that's where my ship was for the entirety of that contract. I did transfer ships partway through, but the last 3.5 months were on a ship that was in Rotterdam being used to house Ukrainian refugees. That process is still ongoing, back on the ship, but now I'm on vacation. So now I just get to do vacation things. How cruise ships work is you go on your contract, you're on the ship, you work every day that you're on board pretty much. I did just put out a blog post about this if you're curious about which crew members get days off and which jobs are more likely to maybe have days off. So my job, I work every day that I'm on the ship. Now I did end up with one day that was significantly less hours because I partway through the day had a couple of COVID symptoms, and so when you report that, then you get put in quarantine, and there's a whole procedure and protocols, and those are ever changing, so I'm not going to get into what it was 3 months ago because it's probably different at this point. And if you've been following cruise news at all lately, quite a few cruise lines have actually gotten rid of partially testing requirements for cruising. So basically big asterisks around that, but things are definitely changing in terms of COVID protocols and procedures for being on board. So anyways, but yes, crew work every day. So while I was on my contract, I worked every day, and now I get the benefit of that. I get my vacation. And so I'll be off the ship for about 2 months this time. For me, it's somewhere between 2 and 3 months. My husband works 3 months on, 3 months off. He's an engineering officer. I have a video with him on here as well. I'll put a link for that in case you're interested in watching about how he became an engineering officer for a cruise line. But so his contracts are 3 months on, 3 months off, and they do work pretty hard to get us lined up. It's not day to day. We don't join the same day. We don't leave the same day, but it's pretty close. So this time my vacation's slightly shorter than his, but that's okay. We're just happy that for all the time that we get to spend together, both on vacation and on the ship. So yeah, think of it like I'm having all of my weekends. I'm having Memorial Day, but like you're having all those holidays that you'd normally get in a normal job, and you're having all your weekends, and I'm just having them all in one big chunk. We'll also count this as Christmas, Thanksgiving, New Year's Day, because I will be on the ship and working every single one of those days this fall. Okay, so what's happening? We went on a little holiday to New York. We went down to New York City. Now this came about, and this is kind of a fun thing about cruise ships, is that you have friends all over the world. And in this case, I had a friend that was looking for someone to watch her cat, / also just was like, hey, anyone want to go to the city while I head out of town for a couple days? And so we were like, we want to go to New York City and have a free place to stay. Now it happened to be like the hottest days in New York of the summer, and that was, I would have rather been in Vermont where I had a river and a lake to jump into, but it was still fun to see. We went to see the Music Man, which has Hugh Jackman in it right now, and we went up the Empire State Building, and we were very, very much tourists, and it was lovely. And now we're back here for some family time, for my side of the family time. And on Saturday, probably should get the right day on this, I'm heading to Montreal to pick up a friend that has been sailing with her boyfriend as partner on board. So she's been sailing with him for a little bit this summer. She went on the Voyage of the Vikings, which if you have never looked at that itinerary, it's beautiful. It goes round trip from Boston. You can also do a one-way from Boston to Rotterdam. And basically it goes up to Iceland and Greenland, and it's all the Viking-y things up there. And then it also does a touch of the Baltic. I want to say it stops in Norway, and but it really does some lovely exploration in Iceland and Greenland specifically. So it's up and back across. It's about 35 days. There are itineraries for it for next summer, so I'll put links for that down there. But anyway, so she was just doing that with him. Then she's doing a little Canada New England cruise, and I will be picking her up in Montreal, which, if you're looking at geography, Montreal is not far from Vermont. Literally just hop on the interstate and basically just drive north, cross the border, and then it's an hour and change once you get through the border. Interestingly, my husband is not going to go with me to pick her up because he is a British citizen. There's no restrictions for him going back and forth across the border, but it takes like an hour longer for him to go across the border coming into the US than it does for someone with a US passport. It's just like you have to go in the little building, they ask him a few questions. It's all like, none of it's complicated. It just takes quite a bit of extra time. So anyway, so I'm gonna head up to Montreal, pick up Christina, and then she's gonna come down and stay with us for a few days before she heads home. So it was kind of interesting on this last contract because there were some people that were brand new to ships. And so the whole saying goodbye thing at the end was a little bit different for them. I've kind of gotten used to, if I connect with someone, I'm gonna figure out a way to see them again. Like I have a friend that I haven't worked with on board in 10 years and we still talk regularly. We play a train game on our phones together, and we see each other probably once a year. So, if there's someone that you connect with and are good friends with, you're gonna figure out a way to see them. I'm also going back to the same ship I was just on, and a lot of people are coming back to that ship that were on board. And so that's kind of makes it easier for me. That's also the situation I had pre-pandemic times, is I kept going back to the same ship over and over and over again. And so that, leads to stronger friendships. It makes it all more like a family, for the good and the bad. So it's not like you can be like, bye, I'm never gonna see you again, because you're like, I'm gonna see you in 3 months and we're still gonna have to deal with each other. Anyways, so after she leaves a little bit later, we're gonna head over to Scotland. I have a good friend from high school coming to visit us over there. Speaking of the good friend from high school, her husband is now into woodworking and makes these darling little boxes. So you can store things in there. And he made me a cruise ship one. So if you would like one of these, I will put a link to his Etsy shop in the description. But yeah, so happy little boat. It's got an anchor here. It's got all the little portholes. So my little boat box. He made me two, actually, so I'm gonna bring one to Scotland with me, which I'm very excited about. So, anywho, and I think that's all that's going on here. So I'm on vacation mode. I am on, I've got another 6 weeks to go before I go back to work. And so, yeah, it's good. If you want to know what people look forward to when they leave a cruise ship contract, my hair is mostly dry now, but I did not blow dry my hair today. That is something I do not do when I'm home on vacation, because I have to do it basically every single day when I'm on the ship. And so, random things that you look forward to. I have a whole blog post about that on my blog as well. And I hope everyone has a fabulous day, a great week, all the good stuff. Have a wonderful summer. Those that are heading back to school, good luck with all of that fun. And until next time, thanks.